Cap L. What up, fam? Secret Society Productions. It's a Secret Society Productions. Alpha Hex. I know y'all ready. And y'all been ready. You know what I'm saying? Iron Sheik. Melanites were the first Asians and Mayans. The first sellout had the mindset I did. Albion hybrids, the first in fur coats. We first rode monsoons in papyrus boats. A set, the first immaculate conception. They stole the concept and Assad's erection. First Batare of medicine, Imhotep. If Lucy's bones were a cartoon, she's Smurfette. I say Batare, that's where we get farther. Paternal matriarch has been martyred. First knowledge we had has been bartered for idol gods instead of the universe charted. Our first schools didn't teach the mental bondage. Self-centered problems, no God, self can solve it. First rituals with wands, not cauldrons. The first goddess and gods are now maximum pawnage. Checkmate and get rushed or dumped in garbage. Flemo and region was first in turf nonsense. Pioneers calcified and stay hard until they calcify. Axioba priests or Washington shamans. We are the future, past and present. Been here, no need to represent. We are the future, past and present. Been here, no need to represent. We are the future, past and present. Been here, no need to represent. We are the future, past and present. Been here, no need to represent. No need to represent. Been here, no need to represent. No need to represent. Been here, no need to represent. We weren't first eating Tim Hortons for breakfast, exchanging energy for rims, Timbs and Lexus. We first spoke telepathic, no need to text us. High priests use storms with nature's trust. We first wrote scripts on walls but not authors. Surgery and gene splicing but not doctors. In his story, that's what they called us. First get us civil mortus and then morgue us. First they called you Egyptians and now Christians. But you're first to call the system Owen bitches. Rapping punks first to have an orgy with two dykes. Sleeping with dogs means fleas and lice. I heard Exodus movements is filled by sea tries. First saw part one, not two of Zeke guys. Gangsters and banksters stole the first money. Credit cards by masters is money that's funny. They print the counterfeit but put a bounty on your head and call the sheriffs and the Mountie. They call peace officers but call it racial tension. Seems streets are now centers of detention. UC's coming around doing inspections. They still segregating us in sections. They killing us all and adding to pioneer collections. Jaws with goddess nipples and God's erection. We are the future, past and present. Been here, no need to represent. Nah, we are the future, past and present. Been here, no need to represent. Nah, we are the future, past and present. Been here, no need to represent. We are the future, past and present. Been here, no need to represent.
Well, let me welcome our friends and colleagues from Morocco for this very important first session of the U.S.-Morocco Strategic Dialogue.
I stay up, never sleep, place we gotta go. That way, yeah. Nation deep, Mufti's on the road, 70. I stay up, sleep ain't in my plan. Why? Cause there they go, trying to snatch the process in my land. We get all the profits in my land. God bless all the profits in my land. Take off on my flight before my land. Yeah, my land. Bury the hate, shine with the love. I am a god. Honor my fam, longer my days. Guy in a shot. I throw the Hail Mary, get bloody like Carrie. Die in my prime, like busting the grape, then pressing rewind. Get better with time, I phone home to the fortress. Memorize all the records of the Moors, lie buried in my conscience. Library of the Congress, lies buried by the context. 1492, talk about the Spanish when it came to conquest. In real life, playing Contra, man. Trying to fill with the contraband. man. Hard life for an honest man. All night for my daughter. On a hot block with no matzo came my land. That's express trust in the plan. Drew Ali, prophet the man. Who I be, Conway Stevens. Yes indeed, this be my land. I stay up, never sleep. Place we gotta go. That way, Nation D, move these on the road. Road 70. I stay up, sleep ain't in my plan. Why? Cause there they go. Trying to snatch the profits in my land. We get all the profits in my land. God bless all the profits in my land. Take off on my flight before my land.
It's not a city corpse. 10,000 years haven't been a corpse. Foreigners came to my land, pointing guns and swinging Jesus cross. Empire, not a cityscape. 5 atomic, not shitty lakes. Continent, not Turtle Island. Noblemen, not a wild man.
Well, let me welcome our friends and colleagues from Morocco for this very important first session of the U.S.-Morocco Strategic Dialogue.
I stay up, never sleep. Place we gotta go. That way. Nation D, move these on the road. Road 70. I stay up, sleep ain't in my plan. Why? Cause there they go. Trying to snatch the profits in my land. We get all the profits in my land. God bless all the profits in my land. Take off on my flight before my land. My land. Bury the hate, shine with the love. I am a god. Honor my fam, longer my days. Guy in a shock. I thought of Hail Mary, get bloody like Carrie. Die in my prom, like busting the grape, then pressing rewind. Get better with time, I fall home to the fortress. Memorize all the records of the Moors, lie buried in my conscience. Library of the Congress, lies vary by the context. 1492, talk about the Spanish when it came to conquest. In real life, playing contraband, trunk filled with the contraband. Hard life for an honest man. All night for my daughter. On a hot block with no matzo came my land. That's express trust in the plan. Drew Ali, prophet the man. Who I be, Conway Stevens. Yes indeed, this be my land. I stay up, never sleep. Place we gotta go. That way. Nation D, move these on the road. Road 70. I stay up, sleep ain't in my plan. Why? Cause there they go. Trying to snatch the profits in my land. We get all the profits in my land. God bless all the profits in my land. Take off on my flight before my land.
It's not a city corpse. 10,000 years haven't been a corpse. Foreigners came to my land, pointing guns and swinging Jesus cross. Empire, not a cityscape. 5 atomic, not shitty lakes. Continent, not Turtle Island. Noblemen, not a wild man. Home is North America, not a stranger, but the landlord. Free white people, not Negro, black, Ethiop, or colored. Navigating with my water. Blacks are still getting slaughtered. Nationality, the order. Foreigners create war borders. Calling themselves governors since they can't call themselves babe. To keep you in ignorance, they replace the E with the A. Keep you defended, always a defendant. Kill your brother over sneakers, but when the highwaymen kill you, you won't defend it.
I stay up, never sleep. Place we gotta go. That way. Nation D, move these on the road. Road 70. I stay up, sleep ain't in my plan. Why? Cause there they go. Trying to snatch the profits in my land. We get all the profits in my land. God bless all the profits in my land. Take off on my flight before my land. Mo, I stay up.
Yes, Mom.
Place we gotta go. That way. Nation D, move these on the road.
It is a violation.
I stay up, sleep ain't in my plan.
Dignity.
Trying to snatch the profits in my land.
As long as there's blood,
God bless all the profits in my land.
the name of God, true and lasting peace.
My land.
Ilmor, Islam, woo! Sun Falcon, Iron Sheik, De Niro, Olmec heads, the old head said, a civilization before Christ broke bread. Well organized before IBM. Eyes, lips, and nose, I be them. Proof is in the pudding before Matthew Sterling. The more that I'm digging, pure features before all the mixing phenotypes, culture, traditions. I'm unfailing older Mexican. They love to mention Aztec, Dogons, Mayans, same version. More by sons, no orphans. From 0 to 9 in creation. Eureka, what a moment. Asia for the Asiatic, even on the ocean. Soaked up in water, looking like copper. At the seat of consciousness, mistaken for boulders. A strong connect above shoulders. I ain't talking about the lookalike features. We've paved the path. Don't tell me who's first, be first and last. Started with an egg split in half. Mounds and pyramids like the earth giving birth. Oh, the Mexican, I know her worth.
Well, they showing it to you the exact origin, Negroid, the basic origin for these peoples.
Why do you think they made they would call a Negro kid? What would be the significance of that?
To show when these people was arrived to this continent.
Aztec and Mayans weren't first stop lying, baffled by mysterious basalt carvings. 1200 to 6000 BC, see me in the face of an Olmec head, no TP. Before Christ and metal tools, fools called them slaves. No way, why were there mirrors and jade in their graves so expensive and cosmologically comprehensive? Of course it's elite status and supernatural forces. Timeline of the heads, I guess, when dated. 12 feet tall, 60 tons when excavated. Only theories arise of manpower required confuse archaeologists from Tabasco to Veracruz. As one of the 6 cradles of civilization, how did we fall for Emancipation Proclamation? A hotland, low-lying tropic forestation, carvings and placement of the heads, master coordination. 93 miles from mountain slopes, braids, feathers, and headdresses, air schools and lobes, distinct and realistic, individualistic, eyes, nose, lip specific, characteristics, Mesoamerican Moors with brows, hail, rain, spirits, ceramic objects, carved, highly skilled, artistic, never be forgotten, always remembered, call it historic treasures of divine splendors.
Pay close attention to everything that is said tonight, and that you should prepare yourself to ask questions about the many troubling problems that beset prehistoric America. It is not really prehistoric, it is merely pre-Spanish, but anything that is pre-European is considered to be prehistoric. It is the really critical missing pages of history, both for America and for Africa.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the reasons why American Aborigines, aka American Negroes, aka American Indians, why they think that they're Moors. It's because of the deceptive practices of some of the Moors who are dirty, who are telling, Americans that they're Moors because, look right here, the Lenapes, they refer to as Moors, and the Nanacotes. The reason why that is because the Europeans had lived and worked with and had children with the people that are called Moors, which is from North Africa, the Berbers. And it says Moor, noun, North African, Berber, one of the race dwelling in Barbary, late 14th century. So that tells you right there. People know where Africa is at. Africa is not on this side of the world. It's in the Eastern Hemisphere, of course.
Of course. Of course it is. Of course it is. If that's the case, then if piece of Australia has North America connected to it, what does that mean? If everybody knows Africa's over there, cross the Atlantic Ocean, and that's the only place that's Africa. All right, if that's the case, then if they're finding a 1.7 billion year old chunk of North America in Australia, then what's that? Then what's that say? What does this piece of evidence allow you to do with the, oh, Africa's over there? What is that? Isn't this basic common sense? If Australia has North America attached to it, you know, Australians talking about over there. You know, Americans talking about over there, looking at Australia. How come? Always all these dumb Negroes in North America who talk crazy. How don't they get this? What are they missing? Are they missing something intellectually? Are they missing something psychologically? Is there a spiritual deficiency that they just can't see certain things? You know? Like what is it really? What is the thing? What's causing this? Something has to be causing it. It can't just be, you know. Right? And you know that they must be doing something when the screen's frozen and you can't push anything. That comes up. That comes up. But can't push anything? How come you can't push anything? How come you start talking about the world is one stuff and all that, and then computer freezes? Is that Allah? Is that Allah saying, why are we wasting our time? Just shut this thing off because this is dumb? Is that the people who watch this that said, no, he's not, forget all that, he's not showing that stuff today? What is it? Why is the computer frozen? You think something's not at play other than what we're doing? Something's at play. I don't know what it is, but something's at play. Is it stuck so this thing could register in your brain? Just leave it stuck here. Forget anything else you're going to show today. Just leave it stuck here. Forget whatever else. Give them 5 hours. Let them digest this. Go live just showing this. Because if they can't get past this, they don't make any sense talking about anything else. Like I'm saying, you know, computer's frozen. I don't know what's going on. No, computer's frozen. We just switched the thing, right? We just did it. So maybe that's the lesson today. Digest that North America was found in Australia. Oh, there it goes. Woke back up. Woke up. So they're up to something. Right, so they say they ain't having that. You're not gonna have them sitting there thinking about, yeah, North America, Australia? How? What do you mean North America is part of Australia? What does that mean? And then it's frozen again. Because because something just took over computers, making it freeze. Why is it that we're gonna get off this and then went back on it and it froze again? You have nothing to do with this. Oh, there it goes again. You have nothing to do with this. Just going through some articles. Chunk of an ancient supercontinent discovered under New Zealand. A hidden fragment dated as old as 1.3 billion years is helping scientists trace the mysterious lost continent of Zealandia. 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 A geologist based in New Zealand, Turnbull, was a colleague's lab at California State University, Northridge, trying to find tiny crystals of zircon, which she hoped would help unravel secrets of the mysterious eighth continent of Zealandia, also known by its Maori name, Tari Amawi. Its Maori name? Its Maori name? Near New Zealand? Its Maori name. Not its Indian name? Not its tribal name? Its Maori name, huh? And you're still playing around with these idiots, sticking themselves as some indigenous people to North America only, like a dummy. If you're indigenous to the planet, dummy. If you're Aboriginal and indigenous, it's not to one continent, you big dummy. Indigenous nothing, you late niggers. Just came yesterday talking crazy to Moors, who can go all across the world and see Moors there in everybody's language. But you don't want to hear what we're saying. You want to listen to whoever else except Moors. Well, whoever else except Moors. Because even dirty Moors know that they're Moors. Even Moorish traders of the great schism that killed Noble Drew Ali, they know that they're Moors. They know that they're Moors. No. Enter your email address. Good thing we got what we needed from National Geographic. FOH National Geographic, but thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ancient Guatemalan sculptures knowingly crafted magnetic pot-bellied statues. Does it look like a European to you? See your nigger lips? It's not European. In Guatemala. Potbelly sculptures. Ancient stone potbelly sculptures on display in a park in Guatemala are magnetized at certain spots, suggesting the pre-Columbian civilization that made them had a practical knowledge of magnetism. 11 of these sculptures of giant heads and distorted bodies, known as potbellies because of their distinctive round shapes, are on display in a plaza in a small town of De la Morcracia near Guatemala's Pacific coast. They were installed there in the 1970s after being brought from ancient sites in the nearby Monte Alto region. Guatemalans are thought to have created these potbelly sculptures more than 2,000 years ago, which would date them to the late pre-classic period of Mesoamerican civilizations. Previous studies of the sculptures had suggested several had magnetic anomalies on their surfaces, and then researched the 25 most mysterious archaeological finds on Earth. In the new research, a team led by scientists at Harvard University studied the potbellies with both a handheld magnometer and a portable scanning magnometer that could be fixed to the sculptures to provide detailed magnetic mapping of their surfaces. They found that 10 of the 11 sculptures had significant magnetic anomalies, and 6 of them showed strong magnetic anomalies that were probably created by lightning strikes while the rocks were still in the ground. What's more, many of the giant heads and bodies of the ancient sculptures were carved and marked and make the magnetic anomalies align with either the sculpture's right cheeks or their belly buttons, suggesting that ancient sculptors knew how to detect magnetism and that they had selected magnetic boulders to highlight these parts of the body. The finding gives strength to a theory that early Mesoamerican civilizations knew about the attractive properties of magnetism and how to detect it with magnetic objects like lodestones suspended on a string, possibly even before magnetism is first known and have been described in China about 2,700 years ago. It is not known for certain why those body parts were chosen, but it's likely that the magnetism of the sculptures contributed to their cultural influence. Potbellies may have represented the ancestors of the ruling class and giving physical form to their heredity-based claim on power, the researchers wrote in their study. If this interpretation is correct, the ability of the potbellies to deflect dramatically in most cases a suspended lodestone would have to serve to reinforce their message of living ancestral continuity. Right? Historical continuity. Historical continuity is defined as the continuation of a cycle rather than a progression of historical events or over an extended period of time, and the recognition of those historical events as inseparably interconnected. That's why we showed you this whole stuff being one. And if you're making the claim of indigenous, you better be indigenous to everywhere on the planet. If you're not, you're a fraud. You're late if you're not indigenous to the planet. And Moors are the only one that in every language in the world something's in there relative to Moors. And whatever's in there that's relative to Moors is a universal thing that everybody knows. Like, mooring a boat is a universal thing. It doesn't matter what language you speak. boats get moored to the dock. That's just what it is. Why is it not black to the dock? Why is not Indian to the dock? Why is it not Sumerian to the dock? Why isn't it not Egypt to the dock? Why is it not African to the dock? Why is it not whatever other name that we call ourselves, since that's the founding name of our people all across the world? Then this, oh no, but only Moor does that. Only Moor does that. No other name does that of our people. On that alone, you should be riding with Moors. So what Moors are talking about is historical continuity, where our existence is a cycle. Our existence is not linear. And if our existence is a circus, then Islam to all the clowns out there. Islam to all the clowns. Peace and love to all the clowns out there. Honors to you. And honors to the Grand Marshal of the circus, Noble Drew Ali. Honors to him. The ring master. The circus master with the top hat and the lion next to him. And then all the clowns around them doing their flips and all that. The acrobat clowns, the backflippers. And here come the acrobats. Just visualize it. The acrobats with turbans going nuts. Like with the pantaloons just flipping. Just visualize it. This is real. This is real. This is why we don't play Indian and all that, because that doesn't connect to everything. The tribes don't connect to everything. Moor is the only name that connects to everything. Nothing else connects to everything. Everything else eventually gets to a dead end. You find more in everything. Because that's the foundation. Don't get mad. Don't get mad because you know what I mean? Your grandma lied. Because she was lied to. And you guys playing this hunter-gatherer BS when there's castles and all that stuff over here, roads and all that, pyramids here, and you're not claiming them? But you're claiming that you're the indigenous people? How come you're not claiming all the pyramids and stuff? How come you don't talk about those? No, you talk about mounds. You talk about mounds. Yeah, mounds are great. Mounds serve the purpose. But stop this. If people got some concrete stuff and basalt and all that, and you're talking about mounds, you're just playing in dirt, that's it? That's the highlight of your existence? Mound? Then talk about the ancestors or whatever like that. So why you keeping bones and stuff like that? What are you talking about? Why don't you just cremate those? And then put it in the dirt. Why are you putting bodies in there and all that? Mounds are great. Don't get mounds wrong. But there's way more stuff here than mounds. Way more. You're talking about civilization. Historical continuity is a way of looking at history that allows us to examine any historical event in context, rather than treating it as a distinct object to be studied as an anomaly. We look at what we're talking about as an anomaly. No way what we're saying is where it's at. There's no way. Like we said, guess what? We can go to every culture and see our people there. So if we go to every culture and say, hey, who's you guys gods? And then they show you a picture of you. How are you not indigenous to everywhere? How are you not African? How are you American only? Yeah, we're just American only. You're the founders of civilizations? Yeah. The people went all over the world? Yeah. They were the first people there? Yeah. You're indigenous? Yeah. So how come they're not indigenous? What? What do you mean just you over here is indigenous? And then everybody else is a foreigner? How? How's your family coming to your house and then you're treating them like a foreigner? Let me see your passport before you get past the door and all this. The historical continuity is that more is in everything. Doesn't matter where you go. That's called not linear. You don't get it. You still don't get it. You're still missing it. You're still missing it. Because you can't avoid the fact that we're indigenous to everywhere. It's unavoidable. The people have to realize that it's all the same culture. It's all the same culture. America is under New Zealand. The unities were all the same culture. But we want to call ourselves what we want to call ourselves. There we go. Our ancestors weren't calling ourselves Moors. No shit, they weren't calling themselves Moors. That's why you're in the situation that you're in right now. Duh, that's why. Because they weren't calling themselves Moors. I think you lost everything. I think Europeans colonizing your land. Not because the European, not because the colonizer came here and they did whatever. Indigenous to everywhere. And if you're making claims that you only built the pyramids in Egypt, but you didn't build the pyramids anywhere else in the world, you're an idiot. You're a goofball. You built the pyramids in Egypt only. But there's pyramids all over the world. And all of them are aligned with the constellations. In the same way. But no, these are different people. There are those guys over there, and it's only the Negroes in America that do this, because when we talk to everybody else in the world, they know that we're brothers and sisters. They know who the enemy is, who the real enemy is. And they're not debating Moors about why we calling ourselves Moors and why we wearing fezzes and whatever. Right? The separation are the ones who don't want to deal with the facts. All these Aboriginal and Indigenous people all over the world, everybody knows that they're dark-skinned people. People with high concentrations of melanin, those are the first people on the planet. Everybody knows this. Everybody who reads also knows that a blackamoor is any dark-skinned person. So if a dark-skinned person is a blackamoor, and all the people who built the pyramids were dark-skinned people, obviously they're Moors. Obviously. No, they want to debate something. What are you debating? Go debate the European. Don't debate Moors. We're your brother. All we're doing is telling you that your status is off. I don't care what you call yourself, but you better call yourself Moors too. If not, then, the struggle continues. You ain't mad. We already know what's up. We're not fighting to be recognized by somebody and all that. Moors don't care. We know who we are. No matter what anybody thinks, what they think I am. I don't care what they think what I am. All these people are dark-skinned. If you're dark-skinned, you're a Moor. That's just what it is.
Right? And then they said, in particular, Barbary, Northern Africa. Okay? So then I'm going to read you another definition that talks about Moor as well. This is from the website Merriam-Webster, and it says Moor, noun. Definition of Moor, one of the Arab or Berber conquerors of Spain. Then it also says second meaning Berber. Now it says Merriam-Webster. This is their definition of Berber. It says noun, a member of any of various peoples living in northern Africa, west of Tripoli. 2, a branch of the Afro-Asiatic language family, comprising languages spoken by various peoples of northern Africa and the Sahara, such as the Tuaregs and the Kabyles. Any one of the Berber languages. First known use of Berber, 1732, and the meaning defined. History and etymology of Berber, ultimately from Arabic barbar. Okay? Now I'm going to read you another definition of Berber. 1300 century. Foreign lands, especially non-Christian lands, from Latin barbaria, foreign country, from barbarous.
Barbary, especially non-Christian lands. Isn't America a non-Christian land? Oh, so that's Barbary, isn't it? Isn't the Americas a non-Christian land? Isn't Africa a non-Christian land? Isn't Australia a non-Christian land? So if those places are non-Christian lands, that means that they're Berber or Barbary. Still going back to the fact again that it's just that simple if you use your common sense. Stop trying to debate everybody, trying to prove some position that that's a fiction. Non-Christian lands are called Barbary. Once it's non-Christian, it's Barbary. It's not African or anything like that. It's Barbary. You're looking at some Mediterranean and all this and getting stuck in again, the linear mindset, not looking at things like a circus. Cyclical. Not linear. Aren't they trying to prove some Moorish, whatever, the Moors are over there in Africa? Well, they don't even read. Because if they read, they would see that Barbary are non-Christian lands. Saracen nations. Perhaps a native name. Native? No one is debating as far as Moors, we have a nationality and we study or whatever. We're not debating. There's not stuff up for debate. This is just what it is. You either accept it or, keep the struggle continues. Keep not having it figured out. Because opposed to you going within, you're listening to some clown jerk out here. Oh yeah, can't even call him clown again. That's going to be like, stop calling people black or whatever. Just stop calling people clowns who aren't really clowns. That's going to be a serious one. To stop calling people clowns who don't deserve to be called clowns. And calling them something else. That's going to be a good one. But you're listening to these losers who aren't about your liberation. They're about keeping you in psychological, spiritual, mental, and every other emotional slavery and all that. So we're at the point where people are just piñatas. It's just a dead horse for us to beat. So people can see don't play around. Don't play around. Go do something. Playtime been over. What people want to play still. And then when you get cross-faced chicken wing because you're playing around too much, now you're crying. Now you're gonna go tell mom. You're gonna go tell mom. Get people's channel shut down. When you started playing around. I told you don't play with Moors. Told you don't play around, but you want to play around. You want to play around. Why are you playing around? Right? 10 reasons why ancient Egypt was in the Americas. Isn't that Africa? So if Africa is over here, then what does that mean? It means Moors are African, as if that doesn't mean America. So Moors are African, so they're not indigenous. Says who? Who says? Who says? 1. Egypt is associated with pyramids, but the most pyramids are in the Americas. Egypt is associated with pyramids. However, the most pyramids are the oldest pyramids in the Americas. There are more pyramids in North America than all of Africa. Now, when we include Central America and South America, it's not even a contest anymore. It's a blowout. America is the true old world. Book sample gives greater detail on this topic and is a fast and good read. America is the oldest.com. Ancient Egypt was a global, ancient, advanced civilization. Egypt was a global, advanced, ancient civilization, as we have proven in many previous blogs. The Americas is Atlantis and the origin of the ancient Egyptian civilization. We all love ancient Egypt, but it was the offspring of a previous advanced ancient civilization called Atlantis. Therefore, it was Atlantis that was actually the global advanced ancient civilization that we see all over the world with pyramids, mummification, serpent worship, etc. In this blog post is images of 3 pyramid alignments found all over the world that align to the Orion constellation, just like the pyramids in Giza. I also include images of pyramids found all over the world. This evidence suggests that ancient Egypt was a global advanced civilization. It's not some African stuff only. This is AmericaIsTheAncientWorld.com. AmericaIsTheAncientWorld.com. Right. Newspaper article about the Sphinx found in wilds of Guerrero. When you read this article, to the left of the link you will see the evidence. The Mexican Sphinx. This find was published by the New York Times in 1930. Oh, as Raleigh leave the scene, truth is revealed, huh? As soon as Raleigh leaves, truth is revealed. According to the article, the Sphinx looks just like the Sphinx in Egypt. It has the same dimensions as the Sphinx that is in Egypt. Not only was a Sphinx found, but they found an ancient Egyptian city buried. You used to be able to go online and see images of this Mexican Sphinx, but Moors have shared the image so much that they had removed all the images of the Mexican Sphinx. Western scholars associate ancient Egypt with being the Orient. I used to think that Western scholars were racist or either biased when they would refer to ancient Egypt as being in the Orient, until I did my research. Yes, ancient Egypt was everywhere, but ancient Egypt, has her roots in the Americas, because America is the true old world and the Orient. Yes, the Orient means East. The old world is the new world, because Americas is Asia Major. The ancient Egyptian god Horus is from the Americas. The ancient Egyptian god Horus is from the Americas, because you can clearly see that Horus is patterned after a plomado falcon, which is native to the Americas. APLOMADO, falcon. APLOMADO. Ancient Luxor was the Americas. Ancient Memphis was the Americas. Ancient Egyptian god Ptah is from the Americas. Ptah, a pre-dynastic Egyptian Atlantean god, is from the Americas because his territory was Ptah, Utah, Judah territory, which covered Mexico and several states, California, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, and part of Oklahoma. Additionally, Ptah was also the chief god of Luxor in Memphis, Tennessee, which is in the Americas. Las Vegas, Las Negas, light or bright serpent dragon, is located where what used to be Utah territory, which covered several states and reached all the way into Mexico, because Utah used to be part of Mexico. If they would study, they would know Africa's over here. And they're also African. All these Indian whoever's. If you're claiming American, then you're African. Because Egypt is over here. And Egypt's supposed to be in Africa. So if Egypt's in Africa, and that's over here, and then America is part of New Zealand, are you dumb? Or not even are you dumb, how dumb are you? Because clearly you're dumb. If 1 plus 1 didn't equal 2 for you after all this, then I don't know. You probably have to go get your mouth guard. Go get your mouth guard and your helmet and go check yourself in. Peru was Heru. Is Egypt, Peru, Heru, and Judah, Utah all one and the same? Yes. All one and the same. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard for them to get this? Ancient America, the Olmec. The Aztec were only the last of many great civilizations in Mexico. The mother civilization of all of the Mesoamerican civilizations was the Olmec. Come on now. What do you want? Tell me these are Europeans? These are dark-skinned people. If they're dark-skinned people, they're Moors. I don't care if they didn't call themselves that. And they didn't call themselves that. So what is that? What the hell are you talking about? They're talking they're the indigenous people of the planet, but never left North America. Obviously, you're not indigenous to the planet. Obviously, you're not the first people here. Because if you were the first people here, you'd be everywhere. You'd be in one place only. What kind of ancient people are you? You're only in one place. You're not finding your culture all over the world. How? The Olmec writing is unique. The signs are similar to the writing used by the Vai people of West Africa. The Olmec spoke an aspect of the Manding language spoke in West Africa. Both Olmec and Epi-Olmec had hieroglyphic writing systems. Olmec is a Sibyllic writing system used in the Olmec heartland from 900 BC to 450 AD. The Olmec people introduced writing to the New World. The Olmec script is the logo-syllabic script. The Olmec had both a syllabic and hieroglyphic script. The hieroglyphic signs were simply Olmec syllabic signs used to make pictures. There are two forms of Olmec hieroglyphic writing: the pure hieroglyphics or picture signs, and the phonetic hieroglyphics, which are combined of syllabic and logographic signs. Scholars have long recognized that the Olmecs engraved many symbols or signs on pottery, statuettes, batons, scepters, stelas, and bas-reliefs that have been recognized as a possible form of writing. Everything. Rafinesque, 1832, published an important paper on the Mayan writing that helped in the decipherment of the Olmec writing. In this paper, he discussed the fact that when the Mayan glyphs were broken down into their constituent parts, they were analogs of ancient Libco-Berber writing. The Libco-Berber writing cannot be read in either Berber or Tuareg. Even though these people use an alphabetic script similar to the Libco-Berber script, which is stylistic CV and CVC in structure. This is an important article because it offered the possibility that the Mayan signs could be read by comparing them to the Libco-Berber symbols. This was not a far-fetched idea, because we know for a fact that the cuneiform writing was used to write 4 different languages: Sumerian, Hittite, Assyrian, and Akkadian. Come on now. And remember, we're talking about dark-skinned people. And once we're talking about dark-skinned people, we're talking about Moors. American narcotics discovered in Egyptian mummies. I'm sure everybody's seen cocaine mummies. If you haven't, go look at that shit. Cocaine mummies. Go research that. Ask yourself the question. Egyptian artifacts in North America. If you ever seen any Indiana Jones, if you've never seen, then go watch some Indiana Jones. Find out what's going on. Realize what's going on. Watch some Celestine Prophecy. You could realize what's going on. Ancient African skeletons discovered in the New World. Because we've been going back and forth. Been going back and forth. A clear link in religion. The similarities in Native American and African religions also suggest that Africans have had early contact with Native Americans by sailing to the New World. Before Columbus stumbled upon Native Americans' land, there were prominent figures of deities with dark skin and coarse hair throughout their religion. Dark skin? Blackamoor? Any dark skin? No, okay. So that would mean, okay. That would mean they're Moors then, right? That's the only thing that. If there were prominent figures of deities with dark skin, that would mean they're blackamoors, right? Isn't that what that would mean? That they're blackamoors. And if they're blackamoors, and we're talking about the Native Americans deities. Now, the Native Americans deities are dark skinned, then the Native American deities are blackamoors. So if the deities of the Native Americans are blackamoors, then what would that make the Native Americans if their God that created them is a blackamoor? Remember, we're not talking about the Native Americans. We're talking about their deities. We're riding with it that, yes, there are people who identify as Native American, whatever tribe or whatever like that. We're going with that. Yes. Indian, yes, there's those people. But guess what? Those people have deities. Their deities are dark skin. When you look up blackamoor, it tells you that blackamoor is a dark skin. So if their deities are dark skin, and blackamoor means dark skin, what does that mean about their deities? And if their deities are Moors, then how the hell are they Indian? How the hell are they some tribe because their grandma said? Suck at studying. They don't study. That's the point of Moors putting out information. So people could see that their own don't study. People could see that their own don't study. The Continents and the Black Experience by Marion J. Pride. Across the world, on every continent, blacks have made contributions to the culture and wealth of mankind. In Asia, Australia, Africa, Antarctica, South America, Europe, and North America, black men and women have distinguished themselves as defenders of ideals and lands, as scientists and inventors, and as artists and educators. Blackamoor says dark-skinned, black-skinned African. From black, adjective, plus more, with connecting element. So these blacks who the continents experienced, all these blacks that the continents experienced, Asia, Australia, Africa, Antarctica, South America, and North America, and Europe. These blacks are actually blackamoors. They just took off more and just said black. Then you fell for it, and you're still falling for it today. And remember, if blacks have made contributions to the culture and wealth of mankind in Asia, Australia, Africa, Antarctica, South America, Europe, and North America, that means blacks are Aboriginal and Indigenous to everywhere on the planet. And if they're Indigenous to everywhere on the planet, and they're dark skinned, then that would mean that they're Moors. And if they're Moors, then why are they calling themselves all this other stuff? Oh yeah, following after the Negro leaders that might be classified as Indian or Hebrew or Nuwapian or whatever it is. Whatever lie they're going to tell you to get you to to give up the check, to give up the 500. Because they already got 20 people before you for 500. So, getting you is that's just extra. Because you think that this is not about studying. You think this is about assuming things. This is about knowing. Knowing. And if you don't know, you're in trouble. So will that this gave you something to think about? Broaden your perspective. That you can't claim to be Aboriginal and Indigenous, which are dark-skinned people, and claim to be Moors. You can't. That's historical corruption. And you're a fraud for that. So don't be like these people. Let them be just them watching their videos. But we already know people are dumb. So honors to all the Moors who know and have made the correction. Tightened up the circle and carried on with your father's work. Because you got to remind you that mother's going virtual, so all that sun stuff all that sun stuff might be coming to an end soon, because the mothers go virtual, it's curtains. So don't forget RV Bay Publications. Make sure you go check it out. Virtual classroom. What is assumption of guilt by association? Introduction to virtual class. Thursday, September 9th, 7:30. Just go to rvbaypublications.com to the virtual classroom and on the homepage, and you'll see the ad and get all your info. Right? Go-to meeting. So the info's there. Anybody who sees this after September 9th, you're late to class. You're late to class. So catch up. rvbaypublications.com. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Worldwide. Honors to all the mothers. Supreme honors to all the mothers. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And to all Moors. Yeah, we might as well do it.
Ilmor, Islam, woo! Sun Falcon, Iron Sheik, De Niro, Olmec heads, the old head said, a civilization before Christ wrote bread, well organized before IBM, eyes, lips, and nose, I be them. Proof is in the pudding, before Matthew Sterling, the more that I'm digging, pure features before all the mixing, phenotypes, culture, traditions. I'm a feeling older Mexican, they love to mention Aztec, Dogons, Mayans, same version. More by sons, no orphans, from 0 to 9 in creation. Eureka, what a moment. Asia for the Asiatic, even on the ocean. Soaked up in water, looking like copper. At the seat of consciousness, mistaken for boulders. A strong connect above shoulders. I ain't talking about the look-alike features. We've paved the path. Don't tell me who's first, be first and last. Started with an egg split in half. Mounds and pyramids like the earth giving birth. Oh, the Mexican, I know her worth.
Well, They showing the Jew the exact origin, Negroid, basic origin for these people.
Why do you think they made they would call a Negroid head? What would be the significance of that?
To show when these people was arrived to this continent.
Aztec and Mayans weren't first stop lying, baffled by mysterious basalt carvings. 1200 to 6000 BC, see me in the face of an Olmec head, no TP. Before Christ and metal tools, fools called them slaves. No way, why were there mirrors and jade in their graves so expensive and cosmologically comprehensive? Of course it's elite status and supernatural forces. Timeline of the heads, I guess, when dated. 12 feet tall, 60 tons when excavated. Only theories or rise of manpower required confuse archaeologists from Tabasco to Veracruz as one of the 6 cradles of civilization. How did we fall for Emancipation Proclamation? A hotland, low-lying tropic forestation, carvings and placement of the heads, master coordination. 93 miles from mountain slopes, braids, feathers, and headdresses, air schools and lobes, distinct and realistic, individualistic, eyes, nose, lip specific, characteristics, Mesoamerican Moors with brows, hail, rain, spirits, ceramic objects, carved, highly skilled, artistic, never be forgotten, always remembered, call it historic treasures of divine splendors.
Pay close attention to everything that is said tonight, and that you should prepare yourself to ask questions about the many troubling problems that beset prehistoric America. It is not really prehistoric, it is merely pre-Spanish, but anything that is pre-European is considered to be prehistoric. It is the really critical missing pages of history, both for America and for Africa.